Rhonda. That was so great. Good morning, everyone.
Good
Our
morning.
family out there, come on in with Rhonda and Bex and me. We love you guys so much. You're part of our heart family. So go to our YouTube page, subscribe, and like it, and comment on the video. Come on to our Facebook. We're ready for you. Today, I'm going to clear you, and we are bringing on a little bit of happiness. And where do you find that happiness? Where could it be? Our guest is going to tell us today. So let me bring on Bex Marie and tell us about your amazing guest.
Thank you, T. That's amazing intro. And thank you guys all for hanging out today. I can't even begin to express how beautifully, divinely guided this connection was in getting our guest on today. A friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, had recently heard Jacqueline on a podcast called, I think it was Mindful Love. And it was a podcast from years ago. It wasn't even a recent podcast. But she had been listening to these podcasts and she had recently declared that she really wanted to bring in more happiness in her life. And then poof, Jacqueline shows up into her awareness and brings in this. She's like, I couldn't even explain how much happiness this woman is. Like, she is the embodiment of happiness. And so she decided to order this book of hers called 365 Days to Happiness. And when she received the book, she was blown away by how beautiful the wrapping was, how intentional you could feel the love in it and the care. And from that moment, for me, it was like this huge nudge from the universe. We've got to get her. We've got to get her on the show. And immediately and graciously, she said yes, which blew me away. Blew me away. And we've had such beautiful conversations since. Honestly, Jacqueline, it's felt like a soul connection for me. Every conversation with you has just felt so heartfelt and loving and supportive and beautiful. And thank you so much for agreeing to be on our show. We appreciate you so much. Can you tell us a little bit about you, your start and what you've done and, why you're here today?
Well, absolutely. Well, thanks. First, thank you so much for having me because I feel the same way. And also, like the conversations, a little bit that we had so far, is just so uplifting. And so I just feel like it's so meant to be. And it creates such a great energy, which, we all share and spread all the time. So thanks for having me. And it's really funny, actually, something just came to my mind when you said, and poof, there she was. Basically, it came to my mind that I've been called since a long time and all the time Mary Poppins. It's just she poof is there, she does her thing, and then everything is good again or better or more, or people just kind of know more about themselves and shift it. Not better is kind of like it's very uniquely, better can be just in a shift in, the headache being gone or just feeling better or knowing the way where to find a job or whatever that is. And then there she goes again and poof, there she comes again. So it's really funny that you said that because this brought that in my mind. I've kind of forgot about it. So yes, so there, I'm the Mary Poppins that comes in when needed, And what do I do? Well, first and foremost, I am, since a long time, a holistic practitioner. And what does that even involve? Why do I say holistic practitioner? Because it's like, it's a mix. It's for everybody different. It's like sometimes you just need to touch somebody. Sometimes you need to shift somebody to their heart's calling. Sometimes it's a perception change. Sometimes it's a helping, a woman become pregnant when there's just this blockage. And I work with energy, obviously, energy, spiritual, and uplifting, mindfulness, conscious living, and to be really to be able to put that into one word, that's really hard. So that's why I say I'm a holistic practitioner, because sometimes it's, I tell somebody to drink a certain tea or take a certain herbal drop or get, a certain crystal or go there at this time right then. You have to just do it and or twirl, and then that's exactly what they needed to cleanse their energy. So my work is really just so broad. It's who I am. Sometimes, so actually somebody said, so how are you personally, Jacqueline? I always see what you post. I said, that's how I am. This is me. This is not my work. This is who I am. So that's what I do. And I also am an author, which I love putting my work into words. There's just, because everything is energy, it's like when you grasp the energetic value of a word, of how a book looks, how everything is. And I just love that people are able to have a little chunk of me at home, a little page of me.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love
And
it.
that's, so I love writing books. I published my first book. I self-publish everything, and I write every single word. So I self-published, and the first one came out in 2018. And what I mean with I write everything, every single word, is like my editor is actually my daughter, which she's a professional editor. And I wouldn't want to have it any other way, because these words are supposed to be exactly like that. So just make them a little readable in case I mix something up, because I'm European. So sometimes the phrasing is upside down. But every single word in all of my books is, I will not let anybody get to that and tell me to change the covers or change the words or whatnot, because it's a reason why, and I don't even question it, I just do it. And I also found a really great designer, which, how everything always works, right? And she just loves my work, and she does exactly, it's just, she's an energetic person. And then I have a podcast since not even a year yet, actually, and that really took off. And it's a Monday to Friday. It's a short podcast, maximum 13, 14 minutes, the longest episode, where you can just listen to them and it shifts you immediately. It really just shifts you. And I'm a very quick person. Like, I like quick. I like to jump from flower to flower and get it going, because to me, life is that way. It's like back in time, I wanted life to kind of be, oh, finally, it's like this, but ultimately that's not where I'm thriving, because every split second is different and spontaneous, and what shall I do now, and tomorrow what shall I eat, and that kind of way. So, and I'm a mom, a very happy mom. I'm a wife, and since many years. And so that's kind of what I do. And yeah, I have a website, and it's really just, and it's my sessions, of course, my one-on-one sessions, and some of them are a phone call, some of them are a video, but then I have these monthly support things. So I always say I work under the hood, and I just give you little things here and there that you need to know. And then you get my text. You can always ask questions in the middle of the night. I don't care. And we can always hop on a call, but I like to work under the hood and shift and do and hold space and educate. It's an education. It's a life education, so people can find themselves, to kind of, and to become more conscious and mindful about everything, because everything is actually really inside of you. So that's kind of like what I do.
I love it. That was a great explanation.
What's the name of your podcast? I'm just
Yes.
so the audience can look, because I've listened to it, and it is contained full of energy. It's sort of like a caffeine boost in the middle of the day.
That's actually what people say. So some people say, instead of taking an extra coffee in the afternoon, I'll just listen to Jackie's podcast, and there it goes, So then they go out and have an orange instead. So it's called The Daily Freak, and the reason why, I know it's a funny name. It's kind of like, and there's nothing freaky about it, but my website is called Freaky Healer, and that's the thing. And that's another whole tiny little story, actually, that I just needed to come up with a name for my website, because I did my work for many years. I did my work without anything, public or whatnot. And then I needed to come up with a website, and we were at a picnic somewhere. I said, I'll just call myself the Freaky Healer, but it's like, how did I come up with that? I just listened, and everyone was looking at me like, whoa, that is so good, because your work is kind of like in that, freaky, how you help everyone. And it's always like this success rate, and it's healing. So great. And then I said, okay, that's it. That's what it's going to be. So I called the podcast The Daily Freak, because, it's my daily little wisdom that's coming to you,
Yeah. And it's so powerful. So powerful. Every single podcast I've listened to has been such an aha for me, really helping me to get a better perspective on things. And I really appreciate it. So thank you
Thank
for that.
you.
It's
I
so
like
good.
that. Thank
Highly
you.
recommended. So my question is, how did you get on this path? Like, what happened in your life that led you to have this perspective of being so freely aligned with your life in a way that, you know, you can just be in that high vibe most of the time, if not all the time? Yeah, I want to know about your story. Like, what got you, you know, into this place of being so fully aligned and joyful and bright?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't. I was born that way. So it's not like I found this. It's like I'm a big believer in that you decide to come here to expand and calibrate into a higher self. And in this lifetime, it's to share high for life and joy and bliss, even when you're sad. See, that's the thing, is to me, nothing ever has to change, because in my childhood, you know, my backpack is plenty full of all these really, you know, you would say in the life level, physical life level, horrible things. But, you know, that makes me who I am. That's why I write my books. That's why I can look at somebody that's hurting and say, it's okay. It's actually really okay. Now, shall we look for the glory in it? You know, and it's not this superficial way of just, you know, being positive all the time. Right. No, it's this deep root who you are. You're like, when you are aligned with who you really are, then you can say, okay, on my physical life level, this happened, and that's very traumatic, you know, yes. However, on my soul level, this didn't even scratch anything, because it's just who I am. Okay, I came. My journey started with, you know, early childhood abuse, and then later in life too. And I even write in my book what it means to be a woman about it. However, I'm not really speaking too much about it, because I always say I don't want people to latch onto my traumas and problems and then align with that. I actually just kind of want you to rather see my solutions and how much depth and how much richness I gained through that abuse, and how and you know what, it in reality, I'm not for abuse. Don't take that, you know, anybody, if there's anything, please react, you know, because we're all here in physical level, in physical life, to do something about it and to help these people, whatnot. So in no way am I saying this is okay. However, for me, I just really was able to align with my inner being even when I was little. Now, back in time, I didn't know. It was just always that beautiful place. But when I look back, it was, you can call it bubble, whatnot, but it was actually just a deep alignment with myself, because that was the only place where I felt really good. So I was all the time in there. And then, and because of that, it actually shows how practiced, how, you know, professionally trained I am in being happy and blissful, even when things happen, you know, illness happens or whatnot. My dad transitioned beautiful, you know, this event of light last December, you know, into his next step after physicality. However, I have this way of looking at it from, okay, on my physical life level, it is sad, it's emotional. And on my spiritual level, it's this event of light. Well, which level feels better for me right now? Right. Well, the spiritual is really true in my eyes. That's where my work is. That's who I really am. Does that mean I don't feel the physical life emotions? No, I make them feel, I make myself feel them very, very strong and full, and when they want to be felt. I'm a very sensitive person, you would say. However, I mix that with being in my alignment, and then everything is really just an event of light for me, even though it's traumatic in life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a lot of us, well, I mean, I guess a lot of the teachings that we experience now is that, you know, to be in alignment is to be of joy and to be of love and to be of light. And then we get bombarded with real life stuff, you know, in the world around us that we feel like maybe holds us back from being able to be in that alignment. And you're the embodiment of living that life, you know, that we're all trying to work towards. So it makes total sense. It's just a matter of us being able to find our way to get there as well.
Yeah, and it's like, and sometimes I tell you, so here's my cheat stuff. It's like, so if I'm a human being, I'm here to expand and to calibrate every split second into a higher self. And that's always like, okay, so how can I feel better? What would be, it's like, but like, then of course I have cheat stuff too. Not every day. It's like, I wake up and it's like, oh, yay, no, it's like, it's this reminding of myself, well, what am I really here to do? How do I really want to feel? Who am I really, right? And then I'm like, oh, today, right now, it's a little bit on the harder side. I'm gonna go and get myself a piece of chocolate, and I'm gonna sense myself into the energetic value that chocolate has for me. Maybe a pear is that for somebody else. So just choose whatever you like, and then instead of just eating that chocolate, I say, ooh, that chocolate, what energetic value does it? Ooh, this is bliss. It's luxurious. It's delicious. It's like yummy, nutritious too. I like dark chocolate. And then I eat it and I become one. So I'm already shifting with becoming one with the chocolate and then eating that. And then together we're one. And there is the shift into a high for life frequency, and then consciously and mindfully breathe into that. Spend a little time with that chocolate, and then like, oh, this feels so good. Wow. And then, oh, I hear a bird. That bird is singing for me. I have a chit chat with the bird, and then I look in the sky and I'm like, okay, this is easy. It is simple. I just gotta align myself and use these little cheat things. I say cheat things, but we're here in life to experience it. I'm not here in life to only be always aligned with my inner me and only be inside of me. That's when it's back in my childhood, I did that a lot, but I'm here to experience chocolate and wine and cheese and the trees and the birds. And I'm here to mindfully and consciously constantly tune in and find alignment in that, with that. And with that, you have there's no other way than for you to just feel really good, no matter the circumstance. That means nothing ever has to change with what's out there. And since if I'm aligned, everything in the outer world can mirror back to me what I actually am inside. It's latching onto me, and then everything shifts. It's like, like issues that are like when I have a problem or an issue, I'm like, okay, physical life level, I do the action, I'm aligned. So universe, please, come on, consciousness, let's do this. And then comes this solution, or the issue is not even there anymore, or I'm gonna get to it and I think, I thought this is a big issue, but in reality it's actually not really. I'll just leave it like that. And so to constantly kind of play, like it's this play of being in life, that's really for me what alignment means.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that so much. Like, it's just so inspiring and beautiful. And I love that you touched on the High for Life, because I know it's a journal that you've been working on recently, right? That you're bringing through.
It's coming out. It's on pre-order. It's coming out in
excited for that one.
And what is it? May, right? In June.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I think, because we're talking about mindful happiness as well. And I think that, that is like mindful happiness is the key to be high for life, to be able to really just enjoy every moment. So how do we get into? It's really about appreciating each part, right? Each step, each thing that we experience, finding a way to appreciate it at a higher level.
Yes, absolutely. There's actually, yesterday I was writing one of the days. So it's going to be a journal where it talks about High for Life, and then it has some space for you to write about it. And one of the days, which it was even profound for me, because not everything I write, I thought, oh yeah, I know that. No, I'm like, whoa, I never thought about that before. I'm going to write that down. So it's, I just let it all come in and put it on paper. But it was about, so when you look at High for Life, so high, what does that really mean? What's the energetic value of the word? To really like, ooh, high is betterment, it's freedom, it's peace, it's feeling good, that kind of like. And if you just think about that, you're already shifting. Then what's the word for?
Issues?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Then it's the word for. Well, for, when you go into the value of the word for, oh my gosh, that means like no resistance,
Right.
no pressure. It's all for me. I'm so loved, you know, and self-appreciation. And then you go into the energetic value of the word life. Oh, wow. Okay, now there. And you put that all together and then you shift in that. Well, what does it mean? So that's the words or energy, you know, and the shifts are right there. If you consciously and mindfully hang out with these words. And then there comes, of course, the physicality. Well, what was high? So you climb a ladder high. So you go higher, higher. That's a great feeling. You know, I mean, yeah, sometimes you look down, you're like, woo. But you know what I'm trying to say. And then you think of the word, you know, for, like I'm eating this for me and I'm drinking water for me, right? And it's a forward movement. And then you go life. You're, well, something really alive. So on many different levels, you can work on with the energy of the words. You can work with the energy of your actions in life. You can always shift yourself. And I think there's just not enough teaching in the world for people to realize that there is something they can tap into at any moment, what they're doing, even washing the dishes, that water flowing over your hands. Well, if you're mindfully and consciously tuning into that water flow, that means you are in the flow. And if you feel that, you're like, whoa. And then, you know, all these blockages in your body, the pains, the blockages in your life, your mind, everything can just go in the flow. And there's just nothing there, no resistance, no pressure. And it's these easy, simple things. And, you know, children understand that. They really do. It's like we're growing up and then we're filling our backpack with stuff, and that's wonderful. But what do you do? How do you carry that backpack gracefully so it's actually for you, you know, and it's high for life, and it's you're open enough to let this really happen.
I love it. That's amazing. So did you want to read us a little excerpt from your 365 Days of Happiness and share with us a little? That would be awesome.
We can do that. So anyway, so this is the book. So I'm just gonna go like, okay, I'm not even gonna
I like the cupcake.
Just
I
know,
love,
right?
It came with a little cupcake thing, like a little
there we go.
Little cupcake thing on here too. A little
I know.
So great. I love that.
I know. Yeah, and the orange one that you showed, that's the special edition. That just came out this year because it's the passage that you can read, but then it's journal space underneath where you can kind of, you know, put down notes. This one is came out in 2018, and it's just a passage. Well, it's the beautiful passage book, but I wanted to do a little more about it. And then I also came out with this one. This is the journal workbook that goes with every passage that asks you a little bit deeper questions, so you can also journal about it, because I feel like it's a system, you know, it's a whole system to help you find your way home, really. That's really what it is. So, all right. Well, what shall we do? Okay, this is actually a fun one. I think it's day 167. So, all right, are we ready? Are we good?
Let's do it.
Yes, we're good.
Okay, good. All right. So it says, chit chat with what you find. Everyone always finds something. Something, it's like a leaf, it's like a penny, a feather, or a piece of paper with a word or saying on it, or a piece of glitter. You know, it can be small or big. So stop when you do. Pick it up if you can, look at it, and start some friendly chit chat. Ask what it is there for, what it means for you, and what it wants to tell you. Then follow its guidance. You will be surprised by all the information you get, which was meant for you to find. For example, I found a leaf in a funny spot on the kitchen floor. Funny because it was not there at first, but when I turned around, there it was. That really happened. Since I was the only one at home, it rules out that someone in the family played a funny joke on me. I picked it up, looked at it, and we started chit-chatting. I came to find out that this leaf was my guide to keep me connected, grounded, and humble as the nature that I am. It wanted me to take it everywhere that day. So I went in my new day with my leaf. It gave me instructions to touch it often and to feel its natural energy, simpleness and pureness to keep me reminded. And that is what I did. I felt it as an amazing co-creation. I hope you're now bursting with curiosity as to what you will find today. That is happiness. So that's the daily passage. And I'm going to go now in my journal book, which I really just wrote. And the journal book is like that. And it has like the first darker colored just kind of reminds you what the passage was about, or for people that don't want to get the book and they want to just get the journal book. So chit chat with what you find. Everyone always finds something. Sometimes it's a leaf, a penny, a feather, a piece of paper with a word or saying on it, or a piece of glitter. I invite you to chat with what you find. What questions will you ask? For example, ask a leaf blowing by because it knows the way, because it's blowing by. Or a raindrop, ask it because it knows all about flow, because of water. Or a penny because it's a teacher of abundance. Silly or not silly, list it all. And then the reader can really write down, because when you read, that's an energy. When you then think about it, is an energy. And when you write about it, it's a potency of complexity. It's amazing. And that means you shift your every single cell of your whole body, your mind, your soul, inner being, your consciousness, your peace, everything shifts when you do that type of mindful work.
I love that, because we talk a lot about how the universe is always in communication with us, always. Everything in our experience is a form of communication from the universe to us to be able to help us on our way. We have to really get into that space of being aware, but knowing that we are always supported, we are always taken care of, and we always have the answers. And sometimes if we're having trouble finding them within us, the universe will prompt us with something outside of us to bring us back to our internal, understanding and knowingness. Feathers have been a huge source of that for me. And I always find myself, if I find a feather, I look it up, the color, the meaning, and I find my answer, something I'll be thinking about. And that color feather, that'll be a perfect answer, will show up for me. But I haven't thought about, a leaf or, a raindrop or something like that, like taking it even deeper. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the simple things. And, it's like sometimes I feel like we kind of get carried away to try to find the bigger things. I need a shift, what big, and okay, that takes a lot of time. So I'll just wait, and then it never happens. And that's the thing. It's like to really take daily life, because it doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to be, special in the way of, like, it needs to take you, like, oh, wow, no, it can be just a piece of glitter, it can really just, or like, in my journals that I write now and come out every month, it's real, there's a lot of reminders in there too. Like, so what's the tiniest thing that you can find right now around you? Is it just a tiny cell of yours? Is it like a tiny skin piece of yours? Is it a hair? Is it a tiny salt grain? Is it and if you can't find anything, go in your cupboard and you hopefully have some rice. Look at that grain of rice. So have a chit chat, sit down, have a tea with it. So what can you talk about it? What is the value, energetic, the wisdom? And you will really be surprised in what you learn about yourself, and and that's this, we're in life to experience everything that's in your awareness, otherwise it wouldn't be for you. And everything helps you to align always and constantly more with yourself, because you change, you think, oh, I'm aligned, I feel really good. Well, the next split second you're not aligned anymore, if you're not, because you change. It's meant to be. Life is always different and changing, and your breath is always new. When you take that cup of coffee in the morning, well, that's a new cup of coffee. You never had that before, because the last one is gone. And to really realize that's kind of what the opportunity is here, the aliveness and the learning.
Yeah, absolutely. So while things may seem repetitive and we may seem to be stuck in kind of the same things every single day, realizing that they're not the same, that they're fresh every single time we do it, every single time we have it or experience it, it's a whole new experience. And that definitely will shift us. That will, that's an amazing perspective.
Absolutely. I mean, I actually have a day in 365 days of happiness, which I find I always giggle because it's like, so you make yourself this gorgeous meal, you put it on a plate, you eat it, you put the plates, to the sink, and then tomorrow you go and grab that old plate again and you put the fresh food that you just made back on it, and then you want to enjoy it. It's not possible. And that's with life. With every split second, it's always fresh and new, and you always get to shift and change. If it doesn't feel good, well, what could you do? Yes, can you change it? Then go for it. If you can't, then that's fine too. How can you change your perception, your feeling? Or if you can't do anything that feels better with that situation, why don't you just go for a walk? Shift it, just shift it. You never have to sit in anything that is not of well-feeling nature. And you always can align with your inner being, which always looks at what life is presenting to you differently anyway. It's like what we in life level, we look and we're like, oh man, like you take a yogurt out of the fridge and it falls on the floor and it gets this, big mess. You're like, on a physical life level, you look at it like, no, right? No. But when you actually look inside and what that all means, well, maybe the yogurt was not the right thing for you to eat today. Right. Maybe the yogurt was bad and you would not have looked at the date. Maybe, I always say, we just fed the fairies. That's okay. Let's just leave it. It's meant for something. And then move on, because you'll find that you have more joy in these times too, to not always kind of, go into the physical life rut thing, right? Because nothing is actually ever really bad there. It just is. So
yeah, that's exactly it. Like I've had, experiences where, my car had broken down and I was so frustrated and I just kept going into that space of just being like, this is awful. I can't believe this happened. And I was like, no, wait, that may have happened to protect me from being in an accident. It may have broken down at that time so that I was safe, and so from now on, when someone has a car issue, I'm like, you're being protected. Whatever's happening, you're being protected, or else it wouldn't have happened that way. It's really about remembering that everything is happening for us. It's not happening to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the other thing is what I usually do when something happens is like, I go into that energy. I think, okay, so what is the energetic value of that? Like if you have a clogged pipe or something, you will go, you're like, okay, this is clogged. So what is that? Pressure, blockage. Oh, wait a minute. So since I'm the one home, nobody else is home and the pipes are clogged or whatnot, obviously this is mirroring how it looks inside of me. So I better go clean out. And, don't be surprised if you come back and those pipes are good again. So, and that's the thing. It's like, you call it magic, whatnot. It's magical. I love that word. However, it's really just mirroring your alignment inside of you. And when you take that, not only do you stay aligned, but you stay healthy, you stay happy, you stay successful, and you keep the plumber away. So yeah,
that's helpful.
Yeah, you save money, that's abundance. There we go. And on you go, and with a smile, and then think like, I did this. I did this. Nobody did, I did that. And then to brag a little, be proud of yourself, carry yourself higher, and then just go on, because, you're worth it. You're worth it and you matter. And it's this self-care, this self-alignment, to enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rhonda, T, do you guys have anything you want to ask or say?
Nope.
No, she had me at be the chocolate. I'm sorry.
But, chocolate, yes.
I love chocolate.
I know. I just, anyways. But I think what I'd like to do is ask you what your favorite theme song is for your life, because I think that would give us another insight into you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the other day I listened to a song and I'm like, oh, who's that? Wait a minute. And it's from Sia and it's called Elastic Heart. And I tell you what, it's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is me. I love it. Elastic Heart. You stretch it, you open it, you massage it, you keep it pumping and alive and happy, and to just, and also like fully experiencing, so it's just, the title is like Elastic Heart. Oh, I love that.
Awesome.
Plus, I
Awesome.
like Sia too. I love her voice and whatnot, and her whole personality. You know, little mystic and totally herself and whatnot. I really like that. So,
I'll have to put that
and of
link in.
course, I also like every single song that my daughter does. Zoe Mina
Oh,
is
what-
like, I
so-
mean,
So
it's
what's
like-
Zoe's? Does she have a band or does she have a title or like anything?
she's on her own. She produces everything, and her name is Zoe Mina, and you can find her like she's everywhere. So, and she has a lot of like beautiful songs. There's like one is really pretty. It's called Childhood Crayons, and it's just this playful, colorful song. And then she has some deeper, lots of deep songs too and whatnot. So, but yeah, all of her songs always touch me too.
We'd love you if you dropped her link in the comments. Yeah, and everybody could get in contact with
I think
her.
you'd have to do it after.
Oh, yeah.
It may not
Yeah.
show up
Oh,
during the show. So
Okay,
after.
I'll do it after.
Yeah.
That's actually a best. Yeah.
It's easier. So we also ask people on the show if they work with crystals, what's their favorite crystal right now that they're working with?
Mine.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah. Anything that is see-through and light colored. I also have some darker ones, but it really is like the rose quartz, of course, is always good. Selenite, I think I pronounced it right.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
It's really good. See-through, light blue, angelic ones. Those are really like, because it's like if you would put me into like a box, I think it's going to be hard to put me in a box. But if you would put me in a box, I'm more like an airy person, you know, in the air, and kind of like a lighthearted person. So anything that's like that and cleanses my energy and whatnot and reminds me to be, you know, light and see-through and just kind of flowing, that's really what I love.
Those are all high vibe crystals for sure, and connected.
Absolutely.
Yes, but you know what? Even a rock on the side of the street, it's gorgeous. It's like, because it's like, it's about the energy, you know, even if you lift, I don't know, a sack of flour, like cooking flour, baking flour, you know, and it's really heavy, even there I could, if I'm conscious and mindful, I can tap into a very, very lighthearted energy in there. So at the end of the day, it's really about everything, you know, that's in my awareness.
Awesome.
Dust bunnies. I love dust bunnies.
Dust bunnies.
Yeah, because they curl and they kind of, they play, and they're called dust bunnies. How can you not love them? And they like play around and whatnot, and they're light and whatnot. So I love your dust bunnies because they're so playful. It's amazing.
That's definitely out of the box.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know.
I love it. That's great.
A dust bunny hunter. Oh, that's awesome.
That could be
I
your
don't
next
know the
journal.
hunter.
Appreciative
Hunter.
bunnies.
It's more like a appreciator.
Yeah.
Dust bunny lover. There we go. Oh, there.
My
There you
mother
go,
was
for
a
the love
bunny
of dust
hunter.
bunnies.
I know.
Do you have had any experience with extra dimensional intelligence, whether it be UFOs or just connecting into the extra dimensional intelligence? What do you think about that? What do you think?
Well, what do I think of that? Well, I personally don't really name anything like that. Well, I named chocolate and red wine. There we go. I named that. But then after that, I simply kind of stopped, because to me, it's all there. It's all consciousness. Nothing is weird to me. Nothing. It's like, you know, I feel a tap on my shoulder and I'm like, oh yeah, somebody is trying to get my attention. Yeah, what's up? And then chat about it and with it. And so to me, it's all consciousness, it's all the universe, it's all there. There's information in everything. So do I have contact with anything like that? All the time. I don't question it. I follow it. I learn to not to question it, and you just follow it. And I know it's always on the right side for me. So to me, it's just this unexplainable, big, beautiful, you know, space of wisdom, good feeling, and moving forward, and being here for a really, really beautiful, deep reason of expanding and calibrating into a higher me, and with that nourishing everything that's out there, because we're all connected. You know, it's like I show up as my best me by being aligned and listening to everything and not questioning, means that all of consciousness feels a little bit better too. And then whoever is ready to take in that feeling or that energy, they will. And whoever is not ready, it's just going to go cars on the freeway going by, and that's fine. But you just, so because we're all, it's this big pool of stuff, and I love it. So did I or did I not? Well, in some sort of way, all the time, some, but I just don't name it in a certain way.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I love it in all ways. So
that's super. So we have one bit. Okay, so whoever shares that the most this week wins a 30-minute session with me, I believe.
Yes, with you.
Yeah,
and
with me.
And what else did I win? Do you know? Okay, I'll. Do you want me to share? I'll share.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Jacqueline has been gracious enough to also offer the winner a choice of one of her books off of her website. So you just have to, once we let you know who won, we'll get a hold of you. Rhonda will get a hold of you. We let her know which book you'd like, and we'll let Jacqueline know, and you will get a amazing, amazing, life-changing book for free because she's amazing. We're so blessed to be able to have this experience.
So excited.
So yeah, it's such an honor. So very exciting. So make sure you guys share this out and invite your friends, and tell everybody, like, who doesn't want more happiness in their life, right? And one of the book titles, which I think is amazing and awesome and funny, is what is it? The women one. Jacqueline.
Oh, what it is to be a woman, because and yes, women do poop. Yeah,
love it.
Yes, I know. I did get a little in trouble with that title too. Not everyone loves it, but that's the thing, is like, to me, it's like an amazing title, because not even because it's provocative, it's because it's true, because it's just, it seems to me that the body functions are not always called beautiful and gorgeous and feminine and all this gorgeous stuff. However, it's like there's a whole chapter in it why I even use that title, and because I did hear that, it's like that, without going too deep into it, that people thought that that's not even on the palette for being a woman. So I chose to make this a little bit more visible, because I do feel that, yes, it's very beautiful, these body functions, because they make your beautiful physical body go. Without them, it would be really hard to, to be healthy and alive, and that it belongs to this female energy, and that we're, as females, also for young women, especially that are still trying to find themselves and whatnot. Sometimes they're further along than I am, but for the ones that are like that, to empower them to realize that they're not here to beautify anything for anybody, but to align with their inner beauty and have these body functions and be proud of them, and be, as open with them as they'd like. And that is beautiful. That is being a beautiful woman. Besides the body, besides the energy, besides everything, but body functions are very, very beautiful in my eyes.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Even the smelly ones. Yeah.
Just getting rid of that.
I know.
Stuff you no longer need it. That's right. It just gets rid of that. Yeah, I know. It's normalized everything, and so nothing's strange anymore. I wanted to say who won last week with Teresa, and that would be Jean Alley. Thank you, Jean, for sharing out. Teresa will be in touch with you. So awesome. We have really appreciated you being here today, Jacqueline, and thank you so much for giving us this shot of caffeine of happiness into our bodies. And we're high vibing. I'm glad we didn't blow it out. You almost blew me out off the internet there for a second, but I'm back. Thanks so much. Bex, any parting words? Because
just that we're definitely going to have you back. When you have another book coming out, let us know. We will bring you back, and we'll be happy to promote. We love hanging out with you. It's been such a pleasure. And we hope to stay in touch too.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. And it's like I'm buzzing, and I know that's a co-creation of buzzing. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are all buzzing too. I can just tell. Thanks, and all of Jacqueline's information is in the description of the video. So thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll see you next week.
And have a blessed week.
So Have a
Happy
blessed week,
buzzing.
everybody. Yes.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Okay. Bye.